Welcome to Master the Game. Happy New Year. It is officially 2025, and I am feeling motivated with my channel, as I always am every year at this point. But I'm not really looking forward to the year as a whole, but for my content, I am looking forward to it. So let's be positive today. So I'm just going to jump right into it because yesterday I did a video talking about 2024 and, all the cool things we did, such as going to Gen Con and things like that. And this year, I think we're going to be doing a lot of content. So I think I counted about 40 pieces of content last year, not counting shorts and not counting TikTok and other things. But between live streams and video, we were pretty good. It was about every other week, consistently. There was a couple points where, during football season where I was coaching, I wasn't really able to do a video for like about a month and a half. So got to factor all that in. But I am going to try and get back on schedule, being a little more structured, because I need that. If I'm not structured with my content, then I will be very sporadic and inconsistent. And I think it's very important that I try to be consistent for myself, and if that means that you guys are able to tune in more frequently and hang out with me on live streams, then that is awesome. That's ultimately what I would love. So looking forward to being able to do that with you guys. Now, what that means is I've been talking about for a few years working on my own homebrew world. I'm still doing that. I've actually been doing a lot of work on it recently. I've added about 25% to it in writing just in the last month. Part of that is because I've been kicking off some new campaigns, been adding some notes from previous campaigns that I wrapped up last year, because I'm starting to get really good at running short campaigns that go, 8 to 10 sessions and have a conclusion. And it's been helping me move things forward. So really appreciative of that. I have my patrons to thank for that because they play in one of my games. Now, I have a pledge level currently on there that lets you play in games with me. But if you are a patron and you would like to jump into any of my games, feel free to reach out on my Discord server. The link is in my link tree in the description below. And we will keep that in mind, and you might be able to join a future campaign. I will be redoing Patreon. I know I've been saying that for a while. I haven't really adjusted it to make it current, but I will be doing that hopefully this week, maybe next week, to make it more relevant, because there are new things coming, right? And that's the whole purpose of this video. So right now the plan is to do a mapping stream on Mondays. I've been jumping back into Incarnate. I've made a few maps lately, and it was a lot of fun. It was almost very relaxing for me. So I'm thinking about doing that again. I'm not thinking about it. I will be doing that again, where I just get in and do some mapping in Incarnate. And I know there's other ones. I'd be more than willing to try out some of the other mapping software out there as well. But I'm going to use Incarnate for now and continue to map out my world. Depending on how I'm feeling, I might create brand new worlds for fun, just for the evening to hang out and give you guys the ability to help contribute and chime in with your ideas and thoughts, and see what we can create. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. The other thing we are going to be doing here is on Tuesdays, I just need to make sure that I set time aside to work on videos and editing them. This past year, I just did not spend as much time as I probably could have working on things to get more content out. I have notebooks of content ideas. I'm not hurting for ideas. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about still that I really haven't even addressed on the channel. There's a lot of games I want to review that I've played. So I will be bringing you guys more content. I will be filming it on Tuesdays and editing it. And I think I will try to get on a Friday upload schedule. This will probably not happen regularly for the first 2 months of the year, just because I will be head coaching my son's basketball team. And in winter, this room right here can be very cold. This is a room off of my garage, so it gets very cold in here, and sometimes it's unbearable, and I don't want to wear a winter coat out here. So I don't think that I can commit to being out here every, 5 days a week working on this stuff. My heating bill will be through the roof if I do so. Because we have a heater, but it's in the garage. And I have a space heater here, but I can't run that all the time either. Because it doesn't heat this massive room. This is a very large room. So yeah, that would be Tuesdays. Wednesdays, though, I would like to do world building streams. Again, a lot of these streams as well aren't going to be consistent until March. So I'm thinking about all of this launching more so in March. We might do some test streams before then just to get the ball rolling. But March, I should have some consistency moving forward. But yeah, I want to do more world building, whether that's me writing about my world, whether it's me looking at the map we just made on Monday and writing about some of that stuff and coming up with things that are inspired from the map making process. I think we could do a lot of fun things there and, just hang out and chat and talk about world building. No plan for Thursdays at this time. Maybe eventually that'll be like a one-shot night, but we'll see. That might be more of a fall thing. Fridays, like I said, that video will go live that I had filmed on Tuesday and edited. However, Fridays are my home games. So I'm going to try and have all my home games played on Fridays moving forward. We were running them on Saturdays, but it kind of, in the middle of the weekend, kind of killed the weekend. I think we're going to do it on Fridays. And I'm already doing my friend group on Fridays. I just got to move my family game. We're starting a campaign this next month. So that one's going to be on Fridays. You might see me post photos of it onto my social media. You might see me talking about it in Discord. Excuse me. Let me get some water here. My throat's getting dry all of a sudden. You might see me post pictures of the game. You might even see me do recaps on the game just to talk about it for fun. Get some input, feedback, things like that. But yeah, otherwise, you're just going to have a video on Fridays that you can watch for whatever I'm doing that week. It might be sponsored videos, might be reviews, it might be advice, tips. It might even be a longer form piece of content based on, topics within the Tabletop RPG community. It could be anything. So, and we'll get into some of that in a second. And then Sundays, I will be streaming my patrons' games. Right now, we've got a campaign that's kicking off, I think this month, if not February. We did a session 0, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to take place in my Volcar Kingdom region, I believe. And, it's going to be wild. We're going to have aberrations. We're going to have undead. We're going to have maybe some political stuff, in-game political stuff, not real world. Hell no. But might have some of that. And then on weeks that we don't have our patrons game, especially again come March, might stream some video games, whether it's a Dragon Age or Skyrim, Baldur's Gate 3, whatever. We will probably stream some video games on the channel just to hang out with you guys, make it a consistent Sunday evening thing. And if I don't feel like playing video games, maybe it'll be a chat where we just hang out. We talk about role-playing games. We talk about, what's going on, what we're working on. Kind of like this, but with more of a live interaction. So that is what my schedule right now is going to look like, especially starting in March. Whew. Oh, man. But yeah, so some of the systems, I know some of you guys want to know, well, what systems are we going to talk about on the channel? I said this in my wrap-up last year. I am not strictly a D&D channel. I do other content as well. But I will be covering the new D&D books that come out. I will be giving my opinions. I don't hold back. They don't sponsor me. I have reached out to them asking if they wanted to send me review copies. No word. I've emailed the thing a couple times in the last year. No word. I don't think they're interested in sponsoring me. So, either way, even if they did sponsor me, I am not somebody who holds back my thoughts and opinions. I am very transparent with what I think of games. I have opinions on the new edition. I've done a review on the DM's Guide. I've done a review on the Player's Handbook. I will probably do more as the Monster Manual comes out. And after I've played this newer version a couple times, I will have a lot more to say. Right now I'm on the fence still. I need to go and read some of the spells and some more on those changes so that they kind of stick better. But I will have opinions on that. One game that was really cool that is still currently in development but almost fully released is a working title for the game is Cool Name Goes Here RPG. Or Cool Name RPG by Mechanical Muse. I backed the Kickstarter during the OGL debacle, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the final version. They just did a contest for people to contribute monsters. I wanted to jump into it. I just didn't get my entries in time, so I have not done that. But they gave out like free shirts and stuff for the RPG, and honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I played at Gen Con, the version at the time, had a blast. My friend Harold from Blackthorn's Apothecary, my wife played. We had Stephen Shend and a couple other people at the table. And then Mark Tassin, the creator himself, ran it for us. It was such a fun game. The system was amazing, and I will be doing a full review of this as it releases. So, and I do think this is a very narrative game. I think it's a game that I think streamers, if they start getting a hold of that game, are going to love it. It's not a D20 game, you know. It's its own thing. It's well developed. It had a lot of many great minds, not only in the industry but even people that are like third party in the industry. People like DBJ, who's been around for years on YouTube and has created the cinematic environments PDFs that you can get on DriveThruRPG. The creator, I think his name's Chris Long, of the Hero superhero RPG. And I'm not doing it justice right now because I don't have the list of names in front of me, but many other people. I think they had like 10 different industry professionals. So I think Owen Casey Stevens was on the project. I don't know how much he contributed because he was going through cancer. But again, a lot of great names associated with it. I guarantee you it is a game you will like. So we will talk about that later. Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So I do plan on talking a little bit about Pathfinder this year. I don't know how in depth. I don't know that I'm going to go into the nitty gritty of things, like mechanics and things like that. But I do think I owe it to my viewers, especially those who joined us because I was covering Pathfinder. I owe it to them to talk a little bit about Pathfinder. And heck, I would love to play it. I am not currently in any Pathfinder campaigns. I am not talking to anybody who's running any, but I would love to play a couple one-shots of that. So if you are a game master of Pathfinder and you'd be willing to maybe even run a short 4 or 5 session campaign for us or something, I would happily host it on my channel if you wanted to, or just even play offline. But I would love to play a couple sessions of that. Based on my schedule earlier, my availability in the evenings. Another game that I've talked about for years, Fantasy Age. They've done a new edition recently, I want to say about a year or two ago, and I should probably review that and talk about that more because I think that system is also a very good system. The Marvel Multiversal RPG is the system I want to talk about. I want to review it, but I want to wait till I play it. I've heard a variety of things about it. I have all the books that are currently out. Looking forward to picking up the Spider-Verse one here in a couple months. So I want to talk about that. I'm a big fan of Matt Forbeck. Got to meet him at Gen Con last year. He signed all my books. His son Marty also signed them because he's worked on them. So that was pretty cool. And I believe I was one of their... I think I might have even been his first autograph. I don't know. I was one of his first autographs. So that was really cool to be part of that. Obviously, I'm nostalgic for Palladium books. Heroes Unlimited, TMNT, Rifts, Palladium Fantasy. So I will probably talk more about that. And I've been thinking about ordering a Christmas grab bag from them. So I will probably try and do that here before it ends. I'm assuming they're going till the middle of January like they usually do. They might not. I don't know. I have to double check. But I would like to jump in on that and try to get some fantasy books because my fantasy collection, something happened to it a couple years ago. I don't remember what. I don't know if it was in moving a few times, but I don't have all the books I once did. So I am going to do a grab bag and see what I get. And maybe one thing I will do is a dedicated Palladium series, because when I started this channel, I know my original 1,000 people who followed this channel were very supportive of Palladium books content on this channel. So I won't forget that ever. And the fact that I come from that world originally with Tabletop RPGs, I might talk about some of the books on the channel. So if you want to see that, there you go. And another thing I've considered doing, and I don't know that I'm going to get around to doing this, but I have considered picking up some of these 5e clones that have been born from the OGL debacle. So I like to call them the OGL encouraged 5e clones. And that would include things like Tales of the Valiant and things like that. And maybe just doing some comparisons of them and seeing which ones I think are better, and things like that. Which one do I recommend if you want to play something like 5e or whatever? I don't know. But I might dabble with those and just see what I think. One of those would probably include the DC-20 system. I don't know. I haven't looked into that. I haven't been as excited about it. It feels like a lot of people latched onto it, but it's taken a lot of rules from other systems as well as his homebrew, but it feels like a mashup of Pathfinder 2nd edition and D&D 5e, and it just, I don't know, it hasn't hit me yet. It feels very crunchy from the outside. So I don't know. I don't like crunchy systems. In fact, it sounds like it might even be crunchier than Pathfinder. And Pathfinder's probably the maximum I can handle, to be honest. But I might talk about that too. As for my world building and mapping, I have a lot I want to do for my world of Thakos. So I might just start a series about my world, talking about different things. Don't know how in depth I'll go with that, but I do think I might start talking about my world, why I did certain things pertaining to it, and I think that'll be interesting. Might even talk about other worlds that we have made just for fun on stream and flesh those out a little bit here and there. And then obviously we'll have the mapping. So I don't know if I'm just going to leave the streams up or if I'm going to take those streams, time lapse them, and talk over them. But there's a chance I do that. There's also a chance I start making battle maps or dungeon maps using some of these softwares. Reviews, new RPG systems and accessories. I love reviewing accessories. One, it's very quick and easy to get familiar with how it works. It's easy to see how it's going to benefit you at the table. So I do personally love reviewing accessories. And might even look into doing more board games and card games. I do struggle learning brand new board games right away. I would rather learn from somebody who knows how to play it and then play it with them in order to learn it. But, we'll see what happens. We are starting to play more. Like I said yesterday, I'm helping host and plan a game night through Lowell Pride here in Michigan, in West Michigan. And we have our second one coming up. Last one had 30 plus people. We had some giveaways, had some cool guests. This month, I don't know that we're going to have any special guests necessarily. We might, I don't know. But we still might have some giveaways. I just haven't figured all that stuff out yet. But yeah, we had 30 people last time. So maybe we'll have more this time. And it was awesome. Everybody had a blast. So yeah, there's that. Short, I already talked about it, but I want to do tips, advice, opinions, community topics, sponsored videos, maybe, we'll see. There's always been an option for sponsored videos. I get multiple emails a week about, hey, will you review this Kickstarter or this game, or I get a lot of these emails that they're sending me their Kickstarter as it's live, and they want me to shout out a game I've heard nothing about and I don't have in hand. And I usually gloss over those. Just a tip, if you are hosting a Kickstarter and you want more eyes on your product, reach out to the people you want to shout it out before you launch your Kickstarter, and far enough in advance that they can learn about the game. But don't just expect them to learn about your Kickstarter because like a lot of them don't offer even a review copy. So it's like they want you to promote their Kickstarter just because. And that's a very common thing. I don't know that it works. I have never seen somebody promoting someone else's Kickstarter that they don't know anything about. They haven't played it. They don't know the creator or any of that. So, I think they're just wasting their time. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong though. If you're a fellow content creator and you have a different experience with this, please let me know. But it's very common, and it maybe that's something I'll do a video on specifically about that in the future. But we're gonna do our 1 minute mini showcase. I did it for my Treant miniature a while back. It went over well. I'm probably gonna do that more with other miniatures. Probably do it with some games specifically. Maybe even just specific art in the games. But yeah, so that brings me to the bigger part of what this video is. So again, a lot of cool stuff coming up this year. Sorry, we do have a comment from Nerdy Bariqua. What's up? Sounds interesting. What's the name again? So I am Juce from Master the Game, but we are talking about all sorts of different things. So my world, if that's what I don't know when you posted the comment. If it's my world is Thakos, just like to hit armor class 0, but not. So it is capital T HA capital C lowercase OS, and that name comes from my wife running a homebrew campaign for us. She had some islands that she called the Thakos Islands. So I stole that. I actually asked her. She said I could take it. So that's my homebrew world now. And it's all because of her home campaign for us. About, 10 years ago-ish? So yeah. But anyway, or maybe even longer. I don't know. But yeah, so coming up this year. Last year I took my wife to Gen Con. We had a great time. We haven't done a lot of vacations since we've been together. Like we went to Vegas one year, and then we obviously had our honeymoon when we got married and things like that. But we have not done a ton of vacations. And last year when we went to Gen Con, she had a ton of fun. My wife has always been a nerd. Like she read Tolkien in middle school. She's been playing D&D since middle school. I played tabletop RPGs in the 90s, but in 2010 she got me into D&D specifically. And we're nerds, but we're different. She's a little more casual when it comes to the gaming side of things. Like she enjoys board games way more than I do. She enjoys card games way more than I do. But when it comes to tabletop RPGs, I'm super nerded out. Like obviously I got the YouTube channel. And then we both play video games, but we play different games. Some overlap. We both play like the RPG video games, but anyways, kind of off on a tangent here. She went to Gen Con with me last year. It was like a last minute thing that we both went. She had a blast. And so last year after we started coming home, she was like, we need to do that again. And so we are going to. This next year, 2025, we are planning on going to Gen Con again. We will stay 20 minutes out again, probably at the same hotel. We had a great experience last year. Easy drive in. And I think last year felt rushed because we got in late Wednesday night. By late, I mean like dinner time. And then we came home Saturday instead of Sunday. And there was a lot of things we wanted to do. And so we rushed certain things. And this wasn't my first time at Gen Con. I went to Gen Con 50, had a good time. But at that time, 30 minutes before doors opened day one, I found out my father had passed away. So it really soured that experience. And so I wasn't like as gung-ho that first year. And so this last year I was like, yeah, let's do this and that and that. And, we didn't make any strong plans ahead of time of what we were going to do specifically. We just knew we wanted to see the whole exhibit hall and maybe go to a couple little things and see our friends. And so we're going to do that again. But this next year, we're going to have an extra day. So my wife is hoping to cosplay. She's already got an idea for something. I don't know if I'm going to or not yet. I've thought about it. I think it would be fun, but we'll see. I don't want to carry around a bunch of props. And yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I cosplay. But we will be going to Gen Con again. And I think it's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we're still a little bit different. Like, I'm there for the tabletop RPG stuff and maybe some board games. She's going to be there specifically, I think, for board games. She's really, ever since Gen Con, really started to get into more board games and card games. So I think it'll be really cool. But yeah, so I don't know. If you're going to be at Gen Con in 2025, let's make something happen. So yeah, and then I was invited recently to PAX Unplugged this next year. So I'm going to help my friend work a booth with him for a few hours a day. Get to hang out with him, help him out with some stuff, and he'll, cover my badge. And then I'll be able to hang out and create content and do all the other stuff. So I've never been to PAX Unplugged. However, I have been to the East Coast multiple times, and I love it over there. I'm from Michigan, but I really do enjoy the East Coast. So looking forward to going to PAX Unplugged, seeing what it's all about. And again, I think this is going to be an awesome year. I did miss going to, what is it called? There's a convention in Ypsilanti, Michigan this past year. I was going to try and go to it in like late November, December. I can't remember what it's called. UMACon or something like that. Yukon, I don't know, something like that. Anyways, but it's in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and wanted to go, didn't make it this past year. And then another convention that I used to go all the time, I used to volunteer, is Grand Con. Now, I haven't been since COVID. In fact, the year right before COVID was my last year volunteering, and I just haven't been back. Obviously, so my wife is high risk. A lot of people don't know that. She has an autoimmune disease. It's a form of arthritis. It's like non-axillous radiographical spondylitis or something like that. I don't know. She's starting to get other issues because of it. Like her spine is starting to curve like an S. She's also hypermobile. So she's having some issues with that. And she's only in her mid-30s. But she has to take an immunosuppressant because otherwise her body's always attacking itself. So anyways, when COVID happened, we had to kind of take a step back a little and not be involved as much with things out in public. So I didn't go to a lot of conventions for a couple years. But so I want to go back to Grand Con probably for one day. I mean, I've been multiple times. I know what it's about. I have fun when I go, but I think one day is enough for the local convention for me. Just because I've been like 7 times or something like that. So, love conventions. It is one of the things that really gets me excited to create more content. So, I think, now that I can kind of have something late summer, I'll have 2 if I go to one day at Grand Con. But Gen Con, Grand Con, PAX Unplugged, and then UConn, like, I know 2 of those are in the winter, 2 are at the end of summer. Need to find a spring convention too. Maybe that I can really get things going if I can find another one. But I don't know. So that's kind of what's on the plate for 2025. A lot of cool stuff. And I want to have fun this year. This is still a hobby. This channel is a hobby channel. I do this for fun. I do this to meet new people and just be involved in the hobby I love. So if this sounds like something you can resonate with, feel free to comment. Join my Discord. You can follow me on all the social medias, especially Blue Sky. MTG Juce over on Blue Sky. Would love to interact, get to know you guys, and maybe play some games together in 2025. I've gotten away from running a lot of one-shots lately, but would love to think about doing something, especially as we get closer to summer. Some more modern... I don't like to run long campaigns that are modern, but I do like to do one-shots and things like that are a little bit simple, So I've got like Modern Age, and I've got some superhero games and things like that. So Hey, RPG Dad, what's up, man? But yeah, if you're on my Discord or any of that stuff, or hit me up, especially come May, we'll definitely probably be looking to run like maybe a spring or summer one shot. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this. Again, lots of cool stuff coming, and I'm really excited to see all you guys at the conventions, PAX Unplugged next year, Gen Con. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be an awesome year. So, at least my hobby will be awesome. We'll see what happens in the real world, but maybe I can just put my head in the sand a little bit and just really focus on, my hobbies to keep me excited and a little bit distracted, because I'm going to need it, I think. So, with that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and this was Juice on Master the Game, and I will see you guys next time. For the first time in 2025, game on.